supersonic speed. I got what you want, I got it. I got what you need, I got it. Welcome to the show. Get ready for the major leagues. Alright, all my life I said I'm gonna be one of the greats. Now I'm finally here. Ain't nothing about this fake. Oh, it's the real thing. Oh, it's the real thing. Yeah. All my life I said it. I'm gonna be one of the greats. Oh, it's the real thing. Got the heart of a lion, strong as iron, with a fire burning in my soul. There's a chip on my shoulder that looked like a mountain from every time someone said no.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cappuccino here on a episode of The Art of Leveling Up by Shared Connections. Listen, if you like what you see here today, go to the old Google box, hit that YouTube 216 Creator Studios, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you ding that bell for the future notifications so you don't miss an episode. Listen, boys are back in town. Love being here with my posse, Jeff Lord and Chris Pry. Jeff, how you been, man?
Oh my God, it's so great to be with you guys right now. I'm really pumped about doing this. This has been a long time talked about.
I know.
And I'm just excited, man. There's a lot going on, and it's nice to get together again.
I agree. Chris, it's been a minute since we've seen you.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Like Jeff said, I mean, it's great to be back at this. We spent a few months now the overall idea was in play for years.
Correct.
A few months really planning and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see it kind of coming to fruition.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And, we're getting some feedback a little bit from going from group to podcast as we were rolling through these episodes. But, what's really exciting is a lot of our family members and Shared Connections are really excited about coming on, being a guest, and, being able to tell their story to where everybody can hear it. Which is fantastic. So we're definitely moving in the right direction. Today we're going to talk about something that we talk about all the time, and especially Jeff. Today we're talking about building relationships and how do we put it? Cultivating connections. Thank you. There
it is.
But more importantly, how to utilize your connections. Not in an advantage kind of way, in a selfish kind of way, but how to create a future with building connections, right?
And absolutely, this is like my favorite topic ever.
No.
So
is it really?
I'm super happy that we're doing this. But no, because everything is based off of relationships. Everything we do, it's who you know, right? And how do you actually build a real connection with somebody and really truly do that without having to have an agenda behind the scenes? I think having those authentic, real, without using the words that are buzzwords, authentic and all that stuff that is overused at this point. Yeah. But it is.
Bumper
how do
stickers.
You create right? How do you create a real connection with somebody? And I think it goes down to my biggest thing is actually care about the other person. Actually care about what it is that they're into, right? And if you're naturally curious about anything, just ask them questions about themselves. And a lot of people, us included, right? We're all in like networking groups and different things. Yeah. That's where this came from, right? Shared Connections networking group. When we did that, the best conversations I ever had, people are afraid of it. They're afraid of connecting and like, what do I say? And how do I have to say this?
Right.
Be yourself. And it was always, that 5 seconds of courage when you're at a networking event or something like that.
The icebreaker.
Hey, I'm Jeff. What do you do? What
Right.
do you do for a living? Or
it's always the first words too, isn't it? Like, so what do you do?
When have we seen Jeff hesitate?
I will tell you this it is a fun story that I joined a group. I went to an event and there was 1,000 networkers at this event. And yes, I'm pretty outgoing. I'm pretty comfortable reaching out to people, stuff like that. That was the first time I was so nervous in a room that I didn't know 1,000 people. Like I didn't know anyone. And I was going, oh no, they're all clicked up.
Oh yeah.
Groups.
Especially the groups.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was so
It's
intimidating.
like you got to walk up to the group and be like, oh no, like if I get rejected, like everybody's gonna see and stuff like that.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's crazy.
It was too much, and I was, but I learned a long time ago. Somebody had said in a meeting somewhere where it was like, have 5 seconds of courage and just reach out, say your name, and ask them what brings them here today.
Mm.
And I was like, oh wow, this is awesome. And then they start talking about them. Oh, tell me more about that. And if you're actually interested and you really care, you will ask those questions.
You know, that's interesting. So Chris, for you, what is the go-to introduction when you're meeting somebody? How do you build a relationship?
Well, I can tell you what it's not right off the bat. Because like you said, we all do different various professional networking and stuff like that through different groups and stuff like that. And majority of them are, so what do you do?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not like, that puts me off. That's like, that just doesn't seem genuine to me. It seems like you might as well ask like, what can you do for me or something?
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
that's just kind of what it feels like. It's like, that's not what I'm there for. I'm there for to like meet people, like get to know you, like get to know actual you, not plumber you or lender you or something
Right.
like that. Like,
Real estate guy.
I know those realtors.
Right.
I mean, yeah. No, but so it's just like, I mean, it'd be nice to, and I think you have an amazing intro question, which is like, what's your story, right? Or something like that.
I love hearing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And I just think that's amazing because it really tells a lot about a person, like who they are, where they come from, and stuff like
Well,
that.
it changes the dynamic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the mindset of the conversation you're about to have.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Jeff taught me. Yes, Jeff, you did teach me something.
What?
I know.
I'm interested.
So when we first, so networking groups for me was just getting together with a group of people in a room and me introducing myself, maybe cracking a few jokes. I do everything through humor.
Yeah.
And then they kind of come back with it. Then I can read a room on the personality I'm dealing with or how do I adjust myself to the personality? Because I want to connect with as many as possible.
Yep.
And sometimes you got to make a small adjustment in order to see where their mindset is. And then you can bring them to your level a little bit by joking around again. And then they're like, oh yeah, they open up a little more, right? Jeff taught me when we were doing through COVID, he brought me to a group that was remote only. And so it's just a bunch of people that are on a screen looking at everybody's micro expressions.
I mean, which is
It's a little intimidating
as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
It's like walking into a room full of people.
Mind you, I got told to pretty much shut up, and I showed up too early.
Not by me.
No,
the way. I
by
didn't
by
say
this
that.
group leader at this point, and I was like, "Whoa, I don't know, what did Jeff get me involved in?" And realistically, being Italian with so many people on a screen, I felt like I was in a lineup. I'm like, "Oh, this is familiar." What he taught me was don't pay attention so much to the overwhelming amount of people that are in front of you. Focus on the point of having a conversation with each and every one of them. And that's why when we did share connections, we created the breakout rooms. And that worked out really well. And that actually educated me on how to really kind of put myself out there a little bit because there was an icebreaker involved. We created the questions, right? And then they were able to, for people that were uncomfortable, listen, the world today, especially, right? People don't communicate as well as they used to.
It's just so fast paced. Like
Because of
go,
this.
go,
Yep.
go, go.
Yep.
This-
Yep.
Yeah,
And-
and that too.
Because
Like,
that's how they talk.
it pulls the physical
Yep.
socialization out of you.
Yeah. Well,
So,
my business partner, Kent Jones, we call him DK at the station. He cracks jokes all the time, and that's how he gains a conversation with somebody. And his questions just come off the cuff. So it could be like, so does that shirt come in men's sizes? And everybody kind of chuckle and they loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
And, then he's able to kind of dig in a little bit and figure out who he's talking to and what they do. And he never asks about, and very similar to you, never asks about their work. That just comes up naturally.
Yeah.
It just comes up naturally. It's like, so what do you do? He never does that. He'll be like, if he sees a sports hat, you taught me this too. If you see an item in the background on the screen, if it's a book, be like, what did you think of that book? Yeah. I read that book too. And for a man who's read over 500 books, that's close to 1,000 books. They're all kids' books. They're all pictures.
Mostly pictures.
Didn't write that
Right.
down,
It's
but-
okay.
They're all picture
It
books.
still counts.
Some of them are G, some of them aren't. However, you taught me that, and I utilize that as well. Kent does that as well. And then, watching Chris communicate with people is interesting because he's a realtor. And Chris, you are so structured. You're like, this is how things work in this realting world. So when you come out of your shell and talk and build relationships, it's amazing to see how you break that structure. Because you're so off the cuff, you joke around. When I first met you, I'm like, "Well, this guy's pretty it's all about business."
Absolutely, And that's just how I am. Like, I don't know if it's more. I would consider myself introverted, but so it's initially those first maybe one or two times, but that initial introduction, I'm just like super
quiet, reserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
but then it's like once I get to know you and I can get to know your boundaries. I'm just like,
you find the boundaries. Do you find the boundaries?
Then I'll use my humor and stuff like that.
Right.
But I generally, I'm more of I'm not a go into the room and either obviously not be the life of the room or whatever but not even just really be comfortable or even conversing if I'm just one-on-one with somebody. Because then it's like you're always getting people coming in all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't stand there and have a conversation without people coming up to either myself or the other person. And it's so I'm more of let's have coffee or something like that.
Yep.
And that it allows the time. It's not like a 5-minute.
It's in a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a comforting thing and stuff like that. And, but yeah, so.
I think that's where the magic really is, though, to your point, is in those coffee meetings, those one-on-ones, those things that you do, because that's where you drill down into learning more about somebody. But it takes those big group meetings to kind of sift through to find the people that you have connections with, share some experiences, whatever goes on. And then you're like, oh, wow, that person's really cool. I want to learn more. And then one thing I heard recently, actually, it was so well said. I wish we talk about it so much, right? Like in shared connections and everything with all the relationship building. I was frustrated that we haven't come up so smoothly with what I heard. And I heard when you're in a networking event, always remember your networking group, your networking event, your networking thing. Sell through these people. Don't sell to these people. And it's so simple.
That's smart.
Sell through, not sell to. And I was like, wow. What a brilliant thing that I did not come up with on my own, but I will share it for sure because that was so interesting where if that's your mindset going in, you immediately are not worried about selling your product or service. Immediately. You're now worried about let's build a connection because if this person likes me, so now when I view someone, I always look at Chris and I go, oh, it's not Chris. Chris knows hundreds of people I don't know right now. So if I screw this up with Chris, and I go, hey, man, want to buy my product or service? You don't know me. You don't trust me. You don't like me. You don't nothing. Now he goes, no. That was easy. Cool. See you later. And he's going to go on to the rest of the room.
Well, that goes between pitching and organic relationship building. And true salesmen sell through organic relationship building because it sells itself. You sell yourself as a person, your product follows. As you well know, I have a business model for my other company that is based 100% on relationships.
Right.
And, and to me back in the day, it was just called, I got a guy because I, have a good relationship with people. And then if they do me justice, why would I go outside of them to do anything? Right. And why would I not pass business to that person?
Yep.
And so forth and so on. And listen, I know there's other groups out there, BMI groups and stuff like that, to where you have one of everything, and that's okay too, if that's what you're in. But there, so a wise man once told me, there's no such thing as a competitor. It's just a partnership you haven't developed yet, right?
Sure.
If you're a plumber and there's other plumbers, you should involve as many into your network as possible, because there might be a job they have one day that's just too big for them to where everybody can win.
Yep.
Why would you not do that, right? And then through collaboration and growth, that might turn out to be something bigger for all of you.
Absolutely.
And so that's the growth and climbing the success ladder. And I think you told me success is one rung at a time, and each rung of that ladder is success.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things where building relationships to me is massive. And I still build relationships no matter where I go. I try to, and just sometimes you get peopled out.
Sure.
Right. And that's where you need a break from the pocket computer. Right. And you just need to shut off, recharge, because then the next time you go into it and you're thinking, who haven't I talked to in a while? Right. And then you reconnect, right? And then figure out how they're doing. What are some of the strategies that you use to reconnect?
Yeah, that is a really good question. I have I have one on the initial connection, but I do it also for the reconnect too. The initial connection, I like doing things that I already like to do. So if I go out into the world doing the things that I enjoy doing, I'm going to meet other people that already have a similar interest. So right there, you have a connection point, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great way to start
A conversation point, at least. Yeah.
And then reconnection is a really good question. I heard one of our speakers, actually, for Shared Connections, said he would go in and deliberately go through his LinkedIn, and he would start looking at people, and he would think about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you know them, right, which you should, if you're really building genuine, authentic connections, you should know these people and have asked them questions, stuff like that. When I see something that reminds me of you, maybe I'll see a podcast microphone at the thrift store, or
Yep.
I'll see something else or whatever. I'm going to take a picture and go, hey, send it to you. Hey, I was just thinking about you, thought you'd like this. This is over here, or whatever made me think about you.
God forbid you buy it and send it to him, Jeff.
Or you can do that. Or you can do that, right? Give a gift.
Here's the picture I saw of something cool.
But you can, but it's
Right.
always something, even if you're thinking about, if Chris likes a specific sports team and I see something that reminds me of that, or a meme, or something funny, or a TikTok video or whatever, I'm going to send it over to him. Why? Because that means you're thinking about them.
Correct.
Right? And it made you think about them. So it's a cool way to connect back without making it a big
Yep.
ordeal.
Yep.
He's thinking about me every day with the amount of TikTok videos.
That's correct. You're welcome. See how much I love you?
But yeah, no, that was going to be my answer about the reconnection. It's like, because throughout the day or week or whatever, that there's always something that comes up that reminds you of somebody that's been in your life.
Yep.
Or throughout your life or whatever that. So, I mean, I certainly enjoy getting those texts. Like, oh, hey, like I saw this, or thought of that time that like we did this or
Yep.
whatever like that. Like, so like when that comes up and I think of it, I try to send out that text or call. I'm more of a texter, so
Yeah.
I'll most likely be a text or something.
You're pretty good at that too. I've gotten texts out of the blue from you, and I when I think about Chris, I think about food all the time. If you haven't noticed, I'm sugar coated. And so I'm like, Chris would love this because he's on a dietary plan, and I'm like, oh, this would be great or whatever. And I made you that chicken chili, right?
Which was amazing.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Nailed it. I made you something one time, a soup, but you didn't eat it. You're like,
The wedding soup.
I couldn't, yeah.
The Italian wedding
Yeah,
soup. It was
yeah.
delicious.
Was it?
Yep.
Did you eat it?
Yeah, but we had COVID. My daughter and I had COVID, and we couldn't taste anything. It was like you gave it to us, and we lost our taste that day. And I was like, oh,
Listen,
no.
when it comes to an Italian soup, it fixes everything. COVID.
I think it did.
Then
It
how do you know it's
fixes-
delicious?
I think it did
Right.
because I ate it, and
Thank
wasn't
you.
bad.
Thank you.
I believe someone else had it too.
I do know
That
that
was
for being with these two, which I call my brothers now. you know, I'll get a text. We're in a group text all the time, and sometimes it gets ridiculous. It could be midnight, and it's bing, 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 and it's Jeff on TikTok. Be like, you got to see this one. You got to see, and it's usually a bad dad joke for the most part.
Or leave group.
That's right. That's right. But no, for reconnections, and I agree with what you said. You know, so Tim Paul is one of our partners here for this studio. He owns Piano Trends. If you're looking for a piano, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know what he's a huge Cubs fan.
Yeah.
And he started a show here where both organists from the Chicago Cubs come.
Oh, nice.
And it's called Two Majors and a Minor. Don't ask me about the title. I don't want to go there.
Right.
But it's a fun podcast. It's about baseball. Now, you guys know I'm not big into sports, but if somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I got these extra tickets to the Cubs, I don't do baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go, oh, yeah, I'll take those. And I'll go right to Tim with them.
Sure.
And be like, reconnect. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
or something.
I was watching. You're not getting tickets anymore.
right. Sorry. But that's kind of very similar to what you said. Is I'll if something comes across my pipeline where I'm like, hey, I know somebody that can really use that.
Yeah.
And then it's a reconnect, and then they reach out, oh man, thanks. And hey, we should get together. And then next thing you know, we find out they might be doing something new. Hey, what's new in your life? Oh man, I got a new job and I do this. Oh yeah, well, you know, I kind of connect with that too. And maybe there's some synergy to that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we got stuff in the oven baking together for business.
I found that typically when I was doing about 20 one-on-ones a week for years, I did that one-on-one, meetings and networking meetings and connections and stuff. I found that 6 months later, 8 times out of 10, they're doing something else. Something big happened in their life. Some big change happened. Some big thing in their business changed. Their focus changed, or just something exciting happened in their world. Reach out to people.
Yeah.
Reach out. And if you haven't talked to them in 6 months or worse, 12 months or longer, just, reconnect with some of these people in your world and just say, hey, you know what? I was thinking about you the other day. Wanted to see how things were going. And my favorite question to ask all the time is, what's new and exciting in your world right now? I always love that. Because sometimes if they, and kind of to the humor point, right, it's if they say nothing, I go, oh, well, it's great catching up.
Right.
And then usually they go, well, okay, I had this happen. And then it was something big. But yeah, I always love asking what's new and exciting in their world because you just don't know. What's happening.
Well, because when they ask you what's new and exciting in your world, that's a 12-hour. That's a 12-hour of listening to Jeff talk.
I don't even have it.
Yeah, it surprises you.
Well, I got this baby, and here's like 1,000 pictures. Let me show you 1,000 pictures, and the most adorable child in the world. And then it's like, well, we got a new horse on the ranch. And then we got 17 new chickens. And let me tell you about the chickens. And those chickens have feathers. But we're going to get the meat chickens, which are eating chickens. But then and next thing you know, guys like this, he's like, TikTok, man. Right. We just did that. Because you always have something going on. Always.
But everybody does. And that's the whole point. But if you care, if you really ask, if you're going to drill down to find out what's going on in their world, you do care. And you know what? Sometimes, yes, they will ask back. And they'll ask you back, and you can tell them what's going on in your world. 100%. If they don't, who cares?
Well,
who cares?
So let's
go. Well, it's not about like having them reciprocate or anything like that. It's just like, I think it's just genuine interest and care.
Yeah.
Like that's goes back to the relationship building and stuff like
that. Absolutely. And it's funny because I preach it quite a bit. Business is not life. Life is just part of life. Mm-hmm. So I always try to discuss life first because that will always come up in a conversation. And if there's a synergy for it, great. And if there's not, great. Maybe not right now. So let's talk about something that's negative, right?
Sure.
Let's say something tragic happens in your life, but you're a relationship builder. How well does that help you? And then how well are you able to help others after it helps you? Either of you want to tackle that?
You want to take that?
Looking at me.
I don't
know. I think most, if not everybody, knows now, like, of my cancer diagnosis. hit hard, caught me out of the blue. But yeah, no, so it was just, so when I kind of gathered myself and stuff like that, and I went on, I decided, okay, what's the best way to kind of, I don't want to be shooting out like 60 individual texts and then having to answer the same questions
Sure.
over and over and over and over. Because
That doesn't get old at all. Right.
well, not only but it's like
Draining.
just like I was already so drained
Yeah.
from
Burned
the
out.
emotional
course.
difficulty of that diagnosis and stuff like that I just went on Facebook and Instagram and posted a video, just like kind of informing everybody that's been in my life. And besides, I may not have your current number or something like that. And it's Facebook and Instagram is like where a lot of people, like both in my life now in the past,
Social media,
long
everybody's
ago.
connected
Right,
there. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Utilize
So
the
just-
tools.
Yeah,
that are there.
absolutely. It just made the most sense to let that go out, and like the amount of response I got and stuff like that, was just, I mean, it helped me. And then it had been like a lot of the people that I actually ended up reconnecting with were people I hadn't talked to in years. I mean, I was very close with, and there was no falling out or anything.
Right.
It's just, I mean, our lives like moved in different paths and stuff like that. I used to live in California, so I had friends out there, but everybody kind of scattered, or I scattered even. I'm back in Chicago. But yeah, so life goes on and stuff like that. But
And they still reach out. Hey man, how you been holding up?
not only
Yep.
not only that, it was like, I mean, people like dropped stuff and came and stayed with me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, just to like take my mind off things. That we would go out, I would show them around, have a good time, and like it was amazing.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you guys have been amazing. And like, and then my
I just made it chili. I don't. That's all
My
I did.
closest-
It was
my-
delicious.
my closest circle really like was like all, like
Complete
there
support
from
group.
from the beginning, and still is.
Yeah.
And so it's like, but then it's like my circle just grew from people that I hadn't talked to in years and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
that's fantastic. And you went out and visited in California recently
Yeah.
to some friends, and you're
Yeah.
going out somewhere else now, and
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah,
doing you're
Mediterranean.
living life. That's fantastic. I mean, listen, when I said tragic, I was going to go with like you lost your job. He had to go there,
It's
but
fine.
that's fine.
You guys looked at
Um,
me, and so I was
right.
like,
Well, you looked at him. I was going to say, hey, listen, I lost my job, and someone's like, hey, let me help you with that.
Yeah.
You know, but
But-
we'll go with cancer.
One of my one of the things that's so interesting on what I think I've learned from just being around so many different
Yeah.
people now is everybody's got something. Everybody's going through something.
Somewhere.
And
Yep.
whether it's loss of a job or a cancer diagnosis, we had a baby a couple months ago, and then my wife had a stroke shortly
Yeah.
thereafter. So all of a sudden, then that happened, and the world, to your point, all came together. It was unbelievable, and I'm not used to. Neither are you. We're not used to. We want to help other people, not be helped.
Right.
I don't want to need help.
And it feels weird.
It does.
Doesn't it feel weird?
I struggle with that.
It's like it's so hard to listen, I call it- and no offense to anybody out there that's religious, but I call it Catholic guilt. I was raised by an ex-nun in the Roman Catholic Church, and it's like, how do you accept a gift? How do you accept a compliment? How do you accept help? How do you ask for help? And I was always trained, you give it, you never expect it, or you never ask for it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to receive a Christmas present, even from my own family. I'm like, I don't know how to act. I'm the goofy guy that makes it awkward, right? I smell it, I shake it. Is this mom? You know, but it's 100% true. It was through you guys actually that made me go, it's okay to receive too.
Bob Berg,
You know?
the Go-Giver,
Yes.
changed that. for
Shout
me.
out to Bob.
Totally. And his books are just
Great
absolutely
stuff,
incredible. Please, and John David Mann, they're both co-authors. He
Yeah.
always gives credit when I say you did a great job, Bob, on all this stuff. He's like, and John David Mann.
Yep.
So absolutely, both of them did an incredible series called The Go-Giver, and just all the Go-Giver books, which is incredible. But in that Go-Giver book, the law of reciprocity, there's that section that just slapped me in the face in a good way, but it was that thing where it said like, hey, you love giving to other people, don't you? Yeah, that makes you feel really good. Yeah, cool. When you say no or you don't accept help, you're preventing someone else from having that feeling.
Yes.
Wow.
Right, yeah.
That was such a mind-blowing situation because I never thought of it
That's
that
a
way.
good way of putting it.
Ever,
Yep.
you know? And
You're taking that opportunity away from somebody.
you are. And what was interesting was I was asked during this whole scenario in the last couple of months, how do I help? We're here to help. What can we do? Right? From you guys and tons of other people. And I was going, I don't know. Like, I truly don't know what I need help with. I'll probably know in the moment. And then at that point, it'll be probably too late to ask. So I don't know what to say. And somebody said, going back to one of your favorite things, but food.
Mm.
And I'll tell you this, if somebody's going through a hard time, I never thought that food would be such a valuable thing. But I said, sure.
The way that somebody's heart is through their stomach.
Man, when I didn't have to worry about, we have 5 kids, right? So it's, and then their friends and, you know, boyfriend comes over and this and that, all of the stuff that's going on. It's awesome. But man, to think about every day when you're going through something on what you're going to eat and what you're going to prepare. And I could just throw it in the oven and not think about it.
And listen, 5 kids. I mean, listen, you have kids, you have 2 kids. Anything more is called a team.
Oh, yes. We do have a team.
And you definitely have a team. And your hands are full, man. And so
But it was wonderful.
I can see why that would be extremely helpful. And to accept that too from somebody giving that is like, oh, thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
you know?
but it was hard for me to accept in the beginning. So going to what you're saying,
Yeah.
it was hard for me to accept. But then we did the same thing for you. It was like, how can we make you meals? You're going through this stuff. And that's how I kind of learned that it was valuable when he was saying it was.
Right.
Like, all right, I guess I'll say yes to that. And then it changed everything. But I'm saying if you're going to help other people, do it in whatever way you can, obviously. But man, food is a cool way to do that. And I think going back to your original question, it's like, wow, that happened. You're going through a hard time. My biggest way of using that as a connection point with somebody is being open. Mm. So I'm pretty much an open book. I'm happy to share with pretty much anyone, just about anything. So why do I do that though? Is because I'd like to create an environment where you feel comfortable sharing with me too, but you're not going to do that if I don't do it first.
Correct.
Whether you want him to share or not.
That's right.
You're going to hear it.
I will tell you.
Buckle up, Buttercup, and pack a lunch.
He chases people down on the streets.
Wait.
You know,
One more thing.
I can't say anything about that, and my wife will contest to this. I'll be in a grocery store line, and an hour will go by, and my wife's like, come on, we got to go. And I'll be in the middle of a conversation with somebody, but you know what? That relationship is now built. Right. That relationship's built, though. And then down the line, anywhere I go, it's like, oh, hey, what's up? And you call them by name. You know, they know you. You know, everybody knows Cappuccino now. It's like, I can go in anywhere and feel warm and fuzzy about the relationships I have in these places. Yeah. Where it's not awkward for me. I'm an introvert, very similar to you, but I'm good with people. When I get home, I just scream. That's all. It's my Italianness. That's all.
But you share, and you're very open with people too. And asking you a question,
it's like pulling teeth.
When it happened, when you shared your story, right? When you shared your story online with everything that's going on in your world, what happened? Not only did people pour out and did you end up hearing like a lot of other stories of people that you didn't know were going through that too?
People had stories, yeah. And honestly, if I hadn't posted that video, I wouldn't be at the oncology center I'm at now, which is amazing because this is exactly what I was looking for and the type of team that I was looking for. But it wasn't just about hearing other people's stories, but they didn't only reach out about, hey, like, I'm so sorry to hear, like, do you need anything and stuff like that about the cancer and stuff like that. They were like, it was so admirable and brave, like what you did, like to be able to get online on social media and just like be that emotional,
Super
and
courage.
that raw.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
absolutely.
I mean,
I agree.
Full transparency too. Like
Yeah,
you
no,
put it
yeah.
out
And
there.
I
You threw
was
your cards out.
crying,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and
Because you were being real. You're
Yeah.
being a human,
Yeah.
and you were going through emotions.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen,
What's
I
wrong
got
with that?
you
But
know.
it's very hard to do, like,
Totally.
all around for anybody.
I agree.
Well, and
So,
the
especially-
way the brainwash that I grew up with was like, man up,
Yeah.
you don't have emotions.
Right.
I saw Chris's video and I cried like a baby for like 3 hours.
Yeah, me too.
And then I called him and I cried some more with him.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm sorry being a baby. And everybody's like, why? Because your friend is messed up. man.
Right.
Of course you should be upset.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, then it's okay.
Right.
My kids, I'm the only male in my house, which is hard. As hard as it is,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I know that one.
But
Yeah.
I know. Oh, I know.
We
Oh,
have
I
the
know.
same.
Oh, I know.
We got
Oh, I
this.
know. At least you get to go out and play with the horses and the
That's true.
chickens.
That's true.
I don't
Only
have
male
that.
in my house.
My dog, my dog is snipped. I don't, you know what I
I
mean?
live alone, so
There it is. There it is.
So, yeah, and shout out to Nico producing today.
Yes. Thank you.
Nico
Yeah, thank
is
you.
my third child. He is my adopted son, and happy to have him at all times. He's a great person.
And you
he's
get
helped me.
testosterone in your house,
Talk
too.
about building relationships. This kid has helped me through some thick times when my brother died. Was like, come on, let's get in the car. Let's go let's get the place dialed in so you don't have to look at it anymore. Let's go. He was there for me the entire way. And I will be there for him the entire way as he grows up and come and help him go to college. It's a great, really, he's our production manager here at the studio as well. Just that relationship alone. He was the little kid that lived down the street that we didn't see much or talk too much. I think once they released him from the chains of the basement and he was able to escape, he was like, I'm over here. We were able to, kind of form a bond. We always had kind of a bond, Nico, just because, mom and dad divorced and he, male guidance a little bit. And I was like, don't be an idiot. Stop being stupid. You're doing wrong things. Right. And he's like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Right. And even
got a
with you guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No,
even
go
with
ahead.
you guys, with me, you placed a phone call to me one time. You're like, hey, I think you joked around too much with this one guy. I just want to let you know he's a little upset about it. And I was like, okay, man. So the first thing I did, I'm so transparent. I called him.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
We're not doing that.
Rhymes with Stan. I called him and I apologized, and not everybody connects that way.
Right.
But I come from a long line of Stonebusters,
Yeah.
and that's how we always did. And so
And it's like the harder you go at someone, the more love you have for them.
correct.
But it's
Listen,
like,
if I
again,
don't-
not everyone.
If I don't give you a hard time,
yeah.
I don't like you.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
just it.
yeah.
And if I like you and you're seriously doing something that I think is going to affect your future, I'm like, hey, stupid.
You'll say
I'll tell
it.
you
You'll say it.
because I'm your brother, and that's how I would do it. I'm that transparent with
Yep.
it. So
Which is awesome to have people in your world that do that.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
that is a skill that I do not possess.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those where I want to say things sometimes, but I have this want to be liked thing going on too, where it battles
Yeah.
back and forth because I want to be upfront and I want to tell you what's going on or what my observation might be or something like that could better the situation. And I always try to do that in a way that you're still not going to hate me afterwards, kind of. a thing or
well, yeah,
whatever.
we call it. Chris and I call it the sure. You say sure to everything. If you don't like something, we know that you don't like it, but you'll be like sure,
Sure.
and it's the way you say it.
Go silent.
Right. And I'm like, okay, I'm done talking about that. We'll just
Funny,
change the
I didn't know
conversation. Oh yeah, for sure you don't. For
Sure.
sure.
Got it. Okay.
And that's how well I know you because I love you
Fine.
dearly. You said you had a question.
I do. So one of the things because you were talking about kids, and one of the things that I just observed recently, kids interacting together. It was at a birthday party, and the two kids didn't know each other, and I watched them walk up to each other. I was like, "Hey, you want to play?" And it was like, "Yep." And they were like best friends immediately.
Was this 1985? Because I don't
That's
never see that. It's usually like they'll walk up to each other and be like,
right.
That does not work for me.
It was but it was the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen, right? And it was a throwback to when we were younger. And sometimes I wonder.
that's Chris's dating life, by the way.
There you go. I go. When we were younger, I think about things like that. On what are the foundations of relationships that we live today, right? Because sometimes you go back and it's like, why are we friends? Like, why did I ever click with that person necessarily in the beginning? And it might have been something as easy as, hey, want to play?
Right.
Hey, let's go over here and do this. Oh, you're throwing a ball? I could catch that ball. And go back and forth. And I think we miss that as adults. We totally don't do that. And we have to have a guard and stuff like that. So
it's because we overthink everything, I think.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about that? Because I observed that kid connection, and I'd like to hear kind of your thoughts on how do we do that as adults?
I think the world changes a lot from when you're a kid to when you're an adult. Not even just an adult, but like even like maybe high school, college, adult years,
adulthood. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the kind of like aspect in everything. Like kids they'll say anything, like they really don't have a filter. They'll go up to other kids. You got that.
I'm not an adult. I need an adult. That's pretty much what that is.
To other kids, like they're not like the older you get, the more kind of like a box you put yourself in, or based on your social experiences, you should be in this box, or that's how you do things, or something like that. Even your thinking, even your creativity and stuff like that. Whereas you look at a kid, like there was a kid drawing, one of my friend's kids, I forget who it was, but they were drawing a picture for their mom, and they were like, I couldn't tell what it was, and they're like explaining what it is and stuff like that. I'm like, holy cow, like that's just amazingly creative.
Yeah.
Because, or even if it's just like two people on there, it's like, yeah, there's two people on there, but that's not what the kid sees.
Right.
They see this whole story.
It's a world.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an image.
And it's just the way we are kind of, I guess, censored or either taught into that with either school or work or whatever like that.
So I agree with you. So since we're on the picture aspect of it, the way I see it, and this could be just my opinion to it, but as we get older, we paint a picture of what we want people to see. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, it's not genuine. Yeah. I don't go by first impressions. I go by fifth impressions, because it's hard to keep up that image of what you want people. I want authenticity. I want the flaws, because that just means you're human, and that just means you're you. And now I really know who I'm dealing with. So when I read it,
a lot of people don't do that.
No, they don't. Let's just put it in a dating scene. That's been many years since I've done that. But a lot of people, they are somebody they're really not when they're first getting together on that date, right? And they're both kind of pretending, because they want to impress the other. Right, yeah. And then as they get together and time goes on, it's like that starts sliding away, and then you start meeting the real person. So I never go by first. I always go by fifth. And I think the image building is, I decided I was that guy. I was like, I want to paint a picture of, I want you to think this. And then I decided one day, I'm like, well, listen, this is who I am. You can either accept it or not. And not everybody is meant to connect. You taught me that. And it's just out there. Not all personalities are meant to blend. And listen, if it's not right for your table and it's not meant to connect, you don't want it on your table anyway. You want the right people on the
bus.
That's right.
Hey.
So when the oxygen mask comes off of the bus, you can put it on yourself. I don't know. There's 5 books I'm mashing together that Jeff talks about. However, it's true. It's 100% true. So yeah, I think you're spot on, in the creativity with kids, and no there's no preconceived. Kids are pure.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't know race. They don't know any of that stuff. It's the people they're around. They become the atmosphere of. If your parents are racist, 9 times out of 10, you're going to think that that's okay and that's normal. And so when you break away from that, you're like, whoa, my parents were a little screwed up, you know? But you become the surroundings that you're in. And when you're building relationships, the more authentic you are, the better of a person that you show them that you are, you sell authentically, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think the more you're saying that, it's kind of going back to fear. I think when you're a kid, you don't have that
no fear.
And you have the ability to say, tell the story in the drawing,
right?
Whether or not, because later on in life, instead of telling the story in the drawing, you're like, ooh, what are people think if I tell this story? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to think differently of me or whatever? A kid just tells you what they thought, you know, and not have to think about it. And I think that fear builds up with us as we get older, which makes it harder to connect with other people if you hide.
Yeah.
And if you're hiding that real yourself or not being open, not sharing those things. And then the other thing I realized a lot when it comes to connections and relationship building, it's everyone's human. Everyone's going through the same stuff. Like we're all going through challenges. Doesn't matter what they are.
Yep.
It doesn't. And then when you compare your challenges, right? If you hear a cancer diagnosis, like, whoa, I have a perspective now that's like, my problems aren't anything. Why am I even worried about that? Except they are. My problems are still my problems. My challenges are still my challenges. I haven't faced anything like that. Yeah. But that doesn't diminish the problems and challenges that I have.
Correct.
However, it puts a perspective on it that helps you get through your challenges going, wow, this could be worse.
Yeah.
I could be going through this or dealing with that whole thing.
It might make you face your challenge a little bit differently too.
Totally.
You know, just because somebody's got it worse doesn't mean your problem's not bad.
Correct.
It just means that in your perception, it could be worse for you.
Yeah.
But it also allows you to take that challenge and go, all right, bring it on. Chris's situation with his diagnosis. I'm like, wow, I have no problems at all. And then I'm like, no, I got a lot of problems. It's just, it could be way worse. I could be facing a lot more challenges. Absolutely. So it makes me look at it and changes my mindset on how to tackle my problems and my challenges.
Yeah,
you know?
So don't mean to keep referencing health stuff, but that's a big part of my life.
Yeah.
But when I got my
Debbie Downer. No, I'm just kidding.
When I got my transplant, I did physical therapy at like a clinic. And then like they saw how hard I worked. And then after 5 months after my transplant, I did the climb up the Hancock, the stair climb.
Hustle up the Hancock.
Yeah. And then
I'm not going to reference a joke to that. I was about to, but I'm not going to. You're welcome.
They were so impressed that they hired me. And then so I became like a physical therapist tech and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But so I'd be like working with patients and stuff like that, and like I'm helping them with their exercises, and they're like, we're just talking and stuff like that, and they're like getting to know each other and stuff like that, and then like they would either hear or like it came up in conversation that I had a transplant and everything like that, and they would say like have, for example, a knee problem or something like that. They'd be like, oh well. Yeah, my knees, like, I had just had surgery, like, my knee's killing me and stuff like that. But there's like, oh, it's nothing compared to what you went. I'm like, no, that's not true. I'm like, just because I went through what I went through does not minimize at all what you're going through.
Correct.
What you're going through is major to you.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. Like, it's not a competition. It's not a race or not even a comparison or anything like that. Like, it's big for you. It's life altering for you. So you need to view it as that, and then just take on that challenge.
Don't compare yourself, really.
Absolutely.
And then Chris said, "Stop being a baby, stand up and start climbing the ladder."
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a transplant. What are you doing?
I mean, come on. Oh, my knees. Where?
Oh man, and all of this, it goes back to one of the other things that I want to address when it comes to relationship building and connecting. You said it earlier too. It's about who you hang out with. Who are you surrounded by? Because you become those people that you surround yourself with. And Jim Rohn was famous for saying you become like the 5 people you surround yourself with.
That's correct.
And it's so unbelievably true. I heard a take off of that.
Around different people.
Right? I know. And the take, there was a different twist on that, which I thought was really interesting, said by one of my mentors, Randy Gage. He said that who you're married to, that takes one spot, right? Because you're going to spend a lot of time with that person, right? What if you're sitting at a cubicle at work and you happen to be next to so-and-so? You'd had no choice of who that person is, but you're going to spend a lot of time next to them.
That's right.
Right? So that's another person in that 5. Like, you better be real careful who you pick with those other 3.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. They're not necessarily a bad person, but what if they're always like, everything is down, everything is awful. There's never any light to the end of that. And it's brutal. And I'll plug we all get 24 hours in a day.
Yep.
Right. And I said that at every Shared Connections meeting, but I'm going to plug it 24 hours in a day. It's what we do with the 24 hours and who we decide to share with makes all the difference in the world. I say that because I mean it. And I am so happy that you guys are 2 of the people of my 5.
Ditto.
And I have a wonderful wife that's 3rd, right? So it's great.
I'm glad that he's glad.
3rd place.
Ooh.
She was 1.
Oh,
in the list of 5.
She doesn't hear this.
Edits.
All right, so let me restart. So, I am so glad my wife is number 1 and you 2 are on that list.
I think your wife's number 1.
Me too.
Did I say that right?
Well, that was good.
Checks in the mail. Listen, I've said it before to some people, and I know, and I've said it on other podcasts, and so I'm going to repeat myself. I don't want it to become a bumper sticker, but listen, if there's 5 rich people in a room and you're there, you'll be a 6th. If you're 5 successful people, you'll be a 6th. If there's 5 clowns, there'll be a circus. If you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's 100% true. And it's when you build relationships, I think that you are vetting at the same time what you want to be around. And even people that you don't connect 100% with, there still might be that piece to connect with. And it might not be part of a core group you're with, but maybe a year, maybe 2 years down the line, you run back into that person and they've adapted and changed. And they're like, hey, listen, I've been meaning to get a hold of you. I just haven't had your number. Or so there's always opportunity. And when I say opportunity, it doesn't mean financial. It could. It doesn't mean success. It could. It just means there's a relationship there and you know somebody. And if your mission is to do what we do, is help as many people as we possibly can, building these relationships is an important part of that. And if your goal is money, you're not helping people. If you help people, money follows. And if you help people and build the relationships with the right people, those people might know other people to introduce you to, and therefore it grows, right?
Totally.
Well, listen, guys, we're about an hour in.
I was just going to say, do we want to do a little final thoughts?
Let's do a final thoughts. Who wants to kick it off first?
I'll start it off. Final thought is what I started with. Actually care about other people that you want to connect with and be genuinely interested in who they are and what they're about and ask them questions. Yeah.
Chris?
Mine was a point that you brought up in regards to being comfortable with acceptance about like, even though you may be a giver and are uncomfortable with the receiving, even if it's just a small gift or something like that, just accept it, because otherwise you deny that person
the opportunity. I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah. That was just, that hit me hard because I've been struggling with the acceptance part.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, Bob.
I always have.
And John David Mann.
Yeah. Shout out. We'll expect you to be on the show. It's going to be great.
I hope so.
Stay tuned. Final thoughts from the Cappuccino. Listen, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to have conversations, even if they're difficult. because people draw towards that. And that's how I build relationships, even if it's a hard conversation. If you cast out your fishing line, you might catch something. If you don't, you'll never know.
True.
Right?
Truth.
And I said fishing because the fish is on your head, and I know you like fishing. So that's my final thoughts. Don't be afraid. Be out there. Put yourself out there a little bit. That way everybody gets peace.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
There it is.
Listen, folks, a great time here. Share Connections, the art of leveling up with Share Connections podcast. I'm Drew Cappuccino.
Jeff Lord.
Chris Pry.
Until next time, folks, stay well.
I am holding on to the thought of you now. Never gonna let it go. As I recall all the times with you, laughs that we had, times that we shared. Slow now are the days without you. Why did it have to take you away? As I live on in this life now, with another step by my side, deeper is that shadow that follows behind.